It's like I lost my wings. My heart is only playing on a single string. I gambled every token. I thought that we could win, but still my heart is playing on a single string. We had a mission, we had a plan, but tiny changes can be hard to understand. My harmonies are broken, it's like I lost my wings. My heart is only playing on a single string.
Hi everyone, it's really misty down on the Thames foreshore this morning, so it's quite atmospheric down here, like the London days of old with all the smog. It's quite pretty actually. But anyway, I've been down to the foreshore a few times in the last week, and so this video is going to be a little compilation of some of the things that I've found. And hopefully I'll find some good things today. And the mist is already clearing. But it really does look beautiful in every scenario. Mist, snow, rain, sun. And today it's quite eerie. So let's go and see what the tide has thrown out today and over the last few days. And guess what? My friend Rich is up there in that crane. I've just sent him a message on Twitter. Richie in the sky. Up there he is. Looking down enviously, no doubt, onto the Thames foreshore. See if we can zoom in on him. Hi Rich! I have the greatest of admiration for people who operate cranes. Not only do they have to climb up that ladder bit, which would be an absolute no-no for me, they also have to, I don't know, do all sorts of things with the rope and pick things up. All very, very technical stuff, I'm sure. Anyway, Richie in the sky with diamonds. Well, hopefully there's some diamonds down here in the mud today. Let's hope. So send him a tweet if you've seen this. Send a little tweet to Richie in the sky. Keep him company up there in his little cabin. I've always wondered what goes on in a crane's cabin, actually. It must be quite cosy. Now just over here I've spotted a padlock, very, very rusty, but this is the area where I found a padlock a few months ago, and it turned out to belong to a family from the late 19th century, the Morrow family, and I did a video about them. Now this one is very, very crusted up, but perhaps underneath it will reveal another secret, another story. So it's going to go in my bag, and I shall take it home and get rid of all that crusty stuff. There is a pipe stem sticking out of the mud here, and there is a bowl on the end. It looks like a nice sort of early 18th century pipe bowl. I'm going to give it a little wash. Let's go down here, find some water. Rinse. Yeah, there we go. That's a typical shape of like an early to mid 18th century pipe bowl, and that black colour will fade once it's been out of the mud for a little while. It will fade to the same colour as what the stem now is. I love it when you find tiny weeny little bits and pieces. There's the teeniest little buckle here, probably came off of some lingerie or something. Tiny weeny. Very delicate. Now there is some kind of little chain here, which looks interesting. Let's have a look. Maybe something to fasten a cape, perhaps? Let's have a look. It's like a chain with two little bits at each end. Do you know what that is? Can you see the little head in this picture, in this frame? It's just by that piece of metal down there. A little lead horse head. There he is, bodiless and earless. Just come across this really pretty piece of pottery here with two, I think they're bees, or is that a butterfly? It's all looking a bit James Bond over there. Now here's a little plastic comb. Of course, see plastic, pick it up and dispose of it properly. But I happen to have a little collection of combs and hairbrushes like this. I'm going to make a little collage with them. I'll show you when I get back. An old shoe. I'm tempted to take it back just to see if I can clean it up. Now down here there's a nice old Lea Perrins bottle. Worcester sauce. Lea Perrins. Wow, look at this platform shoe here. That's a beauty, isn't it? That's quite funny. My attention has been caught by that thing over there behind the chain. I'm wondering if it's a shell. Let's go and investigate further. Yes, it is, look. It's definitely a shell. Question is, what's under there? Let's have a look. The top bit here is all covered in crud. Let's have a look and see what's going on underneath. What's that bit there? It's quite a big one. Just down here there's part of a pot, and on it it's got potted and then part of the word superior, so I'm guessing that's superior potted shrimps. Superior potted shrimps nonetheless. I'm finding lots of jars today. Look, there's a Vaseline jar here from New York. How interesting is that? Vaseline. Cheeseborough. Okay, I shall put that in my bag and look it up. Finding lots of odd bits and pieces today. It's going to be a fun roundup. Look at this. This is a real beauty. An old white bottle, an R white bottle. Completely intact. Ooh, look down here. I can see the signs of a beautiful little pot. Here it is. And it looks like it might be entire. And it is. Look at that. Look at that. Wow, what a beautiful extraction. It's not a pipe, but it's a pot extraction. Potted meats. Ah, so that's what I found a moment ago. It wasn't potted shrimps. It's potted meats. What a beautiful find. J. Sainsbury's potted meats. They sure like their potted shrimps and potted fish paste and potted meats around here, didn't they? Now just here is a squashed shell. Looks very interesting, and I have now got some charts and some calipers even for measuring these, so I'm going to take this home with me and see what it is, practice on my new tools. Just seen something interesting over here. This is a nice piece of wood. Oh my goodness, I'd like to take that back with me. Look at that. I wonder if it's heavy. Pretty, isn't it? It's part of a ship. Well, the mist is long gone and the sun is out and it's a really, really beautiful day. And I found some great little bits and pieces. Essentially, a lot of it is real sort of old-fashioned rubbish, but some interesting things nevertheless to look up. And some heavy things like this wood. Wish me luck carrying that back to the car. But I think I found enough today really to do a video all on its own, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get this lot home, clean it up the best I can, and do a little roundup. I'll see you later. I'm here in my studio and I've been cleaning the padlock which I pulled out of the mud, which was in a right old state actually. If you look at this side, the other side was like that as well, completely covered in crud, and to be honest I just didn't even know whether I'd be able to find anything on it at all. And also it looks kind of as if somebody's sort of broken into it in the past. You can see it's prized open there. So I've been soaking it in lemon juice and then I gave it a real scrub with a wire brush, and I'm pretty excited to see, you see how these lovely little nails or screws have come out here. I have a little way to go, but I'm pretty excited to see that there are some letters on there. You can see that there just underneath the rust. There's an F, and just underneath, I think, just clean that off, I think there's also an I. Yeah, I've just wiped it off a bit. You can see the F here, and then there is what I think is an I and part of an S. So I'm going to continue scrubbing it to see if we can reveal the writing on it. It's pretty exciting. I wonder if it's a family or a business. Hi everyone, I'm back in the studio now and I'm going to do a little roundup of the objects featured in today's video. Now as you saw, I didn't find anything precious or gold or any treasure or anything like that, but what I did find really reflects the activities that went on along that part of the foreshore. It's a very industrial area, lots of shipbuilding went on there, shipbreaking and other industries. So the items that I found really reflect what a day would be like there, what people ate, what they drank, what they smoked, what they wore. I'm going to go through each item and give a little bit of history about it. Everything tells a story. And I did drag my piece of wood back to the car. It's extremely heavy, but well worth it. There's just something about it which is very intriguing. It's obviously been painted quite a few times, and I'd love to know where it comes from, which ship it broke off of. So let's get on with it and do a little roundup of the objects featured in today's video, and also quite a few of them I'm lacking information on, so if you know anything about any of them, I'd be really grateful if you could let me know. The first object I'm going to start with is this padlock, which again I nearly didn't pick it up because it just looked in such a state, but having washed it off and soaked it in citric acid for a while and given it a good scrubbing, there is lettering on both sides. So on this side here it says Griffith and Co. 1946, and on the other side you can just about make out there Chambers and then Rotherhithe. I think it's Chambers, or it could be Chamber, but in any case I think that comes from probably Chambers Wharf, which is very close to Rotherhithe. And Chambers Wharf was abandoned in the 60s or 70s. It was a series of cold stores apparently, and obviously there it was a very industrial area. It was a wharf, lots of comings and goings, lots of ships coming in and out. I haven't been able to find out anything about Griffith and Co. I don't know if that's the name of the locksmith or the name of a company, and I haven't really been able to find out a great deal about Chambers in Rotherhithe either, so certainly a little bit more I'm sure to be found out on that. But it really is rather spectacular. I'm very, very pleased with it. It just goes to show that you just don't know what's underneath all the crud on top of these things, and it's a wonderful surprise when something is revealed, like these letters. Of course, they haven't seen the light of day for a very, very long time. So it does look like somebody's forced the padlock open at some point. So that's the padlock, Griffith and Co. 1946. It's fairly common to find remnants of the war, World War I, World War II and other battles along the banks of the Thames, and these are obviously such items. This is a shell, and on the bottom there, amongst other things, it's marked with 1942. And a few people recently have given me some really useful things to help me identify bullets and ammunition. Thank you very much, Dustin, Johan, Matthew and everybody else who's helped me to identify bullets, Bill as well, so thanks for that. I haven't had a chance to look at them properly yet and to work out how to use the calipers, but I shall do that over the next couple of weeks, so thanks again. And so these, remnants of past wartime activity. And now for my beautiful bottles. I've got this one here, which is R. White's. Perhaps they're distant relatives, I don't know. But R. White's began in 1845, and first of all they started selling ginger beer, and then they moved on to lemonade. So I don't know what was in this one. It's always occurred to me that there's such beautiful bottles, so chunky and well made, just to contain such a rather small amount of liquid. It just seems a waste somehow. But anyway, it's wonderful that this one's not broken, so that'll be a lovely addition to my R. White's bottle collection. I've got another one here that I found a few months ago, a nice deep green one. Again, it's the same design with RW and Sun Limited, and then white down the centre. Now here's the old Lea Perrins bottle. It says Lea and Perrins, Worcester sauce. Lea Perrins was created by the Worcester chemists John Lea and William Perrins in the 1830s because apparently a local man, Lord Sandy, who was a nobleman in the area, wanted to recreate an exciting taste he'd acquired on his travels to Bengal. So that's the story behind that. And I occasionally find bottle stoppers, or glass bottle stoppers. I've got quite a few here. And this bottle would have had such a stopper in it. I couldn't actually locate a Lea Perrins one, but I can pop another one in there, like that. So I'm imagining that the people who worked on the ship breaking yards probably brought down these pickles and sauces to jazz up their packed lunches. And now for the Sainsbury's Superior Potted Meats jar. Initially I found this fragment, and then a few moments later I found this entire one. And it probably dates back to the early 20th century. Again, somebody's probably brought it down along with their packed lunch, a chunk of bread, a bit of potted meat. And again, here is a glass stopper which I found that same day, and that would have come from a panyan pickle jar. So again, more evidence of packed lunches, just spiced up with panyan pickle, something to brighten up your potted meats. And a few years ago actually I found this one, again from Sainsbury's, and it's bloater paste, which is kind of fish, isn't it? It doesn't sound all that nice, but I'm sure it's delicious. Particularly with a dash of Worcester sauce and a big dollop of panyan pickle. Next we've got this little Vaseline jar, which is also in very, very good condition, and on it it's marked trademark Vaseline, Cheeseborough, New York. And Vaseline was invented by Robert Augustus Cheeseborough at the age of 22, after noticing that workmen applied a sticky substance from drilling rods to wounds as it helped them to heal faster. So I imagine that down there on the shipbreaking yard there are a fair amount of cuts and grazes going on, so that might explain why this jar of Vaseline was down on the foreshore. He called it petroleum jelly, and that was back in 1859. And he promoted it as being effective for man and beast. And apparently, a little bit of interesting info, is that Robert Augustus Cheeseborough ate a daily dose of Vaseline and attributed his long life to it. And he died aged 96 in 1933. So, yum yum. I'm going to rush out and buy some Vaseline. Have a spoonful of that, so we can live long, healthy lives. It's fairly common to find shoes and shoe soles on the foreshore. We found a woman's one here, which I thought would be fun to bring home. I'm not going to keep it, but there we are. I'm sure that that's probably an original 60s or 70s platform shoe. Just look at that, quite resplendent. And here we've got some shoes which probably date back to the sort of early 1900s, I expect. I'm always loving the amount of work that goes into these shoes, and they've often got the little sort of heel reinforcements there, and studs, and clearly sort of work shoes. Here There are a few others that I found over the past few months. You can see how reinforced they are. And the beautiful sort of reinforced heel. So built for heavy duty work, so ideal for a shipbreaking yard. These ones look quite small actually. So I don't know, it could be a child's, or I don't know, maybe even a woman, who knows. Here's the pipe, which is early 18th century, so a little earlier than all these other bits and pieces, but I'm sure that a lot of smoking went on down on the foreshore in the early 1900s as well. Here's the little lead horse head. I shall add that to my lead collection. I've got quite a collection of animals and soldiers in here. There's a cow here. Here's my plastic comb, and I'm going to add that to my plastic dressing table set. Here we are. Over the years I found quite a few of these little plastic combs and brushes for dolls, so that one will fit perfectly there. Now I'm not sure what this is, this chain here with these little bits at the end. Put it here. It's a chain with two little studs at either end, and I'm wondering if it was something that was used to perhaps keep a cape attached at the neck, maybe. And now my largest item, which is the massive great big piece of wood that I lugged back to the car, and it's very, very heavy but rather beautiful. I love the fact that it's been painted several times, and it would be wonderful to know what boat it came from. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with it, but I shall think of something. Well, that's it for today's roundup. Thank you very much for watching. I think when you look at all this array of objects that's washed out with the tide, you can't help wondering who wore them and who ate them, who drank them, who smoked them. It certainly gets the imagination going. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you again very soon, and in the meantime, have a lovely week. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Half asleep in between, on my way to the round of the living. Seek your eyes right here beside. Would you come with me? The sun's rising.